Thank you for clicking on the video. We're the real Detroit Lions fans coming at you after that loss to the Washington Redskins. And what a terrible loss it was. And even though we only lost by 3 points, it's a team that we honestly should have destroyed. It's a team that came into this week with just one win on the season. And we're a team that we think we're better than our record. And I feel like a lot of Lions fans think that, but that's not what the outcome of today's game showed. So we're going to get into that and a lot more coming next. Like I said at the top of the video, so we lost by 3 points to the Redskins. So what do you think about that? I know that a lot of people are really upset, and they asked Patricia about it. They're like, how do you feel about going forward, and how do you feel about these losses? And he said, like, I'm always disappointed when we don't win. I'm fighting every week. And he also brought up, like, there's a process going on here, and he's trying to understand that they're building something. And I think that's kind of what we needed as fans, because I needed to hear that there's something to look forward to, because I want to trust in Patricia and Bob Quinn, but it seemed like there was nothing to look forward to. So what do you think about his comments and just the outcome of the game in general?
All right. I mean, his comments are such a stereotypical head coach thing to say. And honestly, like, I get the whole building process, growing pains thing, but we have a lot of talent. You need to turn talent into wins. And you had last season, I totally get it. You came in, you didn't really get to do much. You had a roster that you didn't really get to touch, whatever. We ended up 6-10. But right now, we're sitting at 3 wins with, I think, 8 losses and a tie. Or no, 3 wins, 7 losses, and a tie, I believe. And, I mean, by the end of the season, if we win out, then that pretty much looks like our record from last year. And I get it, Stafford went down, but, like, we had a lot of injuries. Other teams have injuries. I feel like if it was a growing process and, it takes time, you should still be building on the year before. And right now it looks like we're worse than last year. And I get it. Like, once we lost to Green Bay, and then we lost to Minnesota, and then we lost to the Bears, you knew we were screwed. So it's kind of like, all right, the wild card's looking at like an 8-3 record right now. You already are knocked out of wild card contention. So you might as well just try different things and, plug in different pieces and whatever, and just, do whatever. So personally, I think they kind of gave up after like that Bears game, just because it's like, what's the real point of winning at that point? Yeah, morale is important, but when it comes to offseason, all the players are going to come back like, all right, fresh slate, let's go. Nobody has wins, nobody has losses. So I think his comments are just something any head coach would have said.
Yeah, I agree with you, and it also doesn't help when you're obviously the leader of your team, your quarterback goes down. So, I bet you a lot of the players felt like there was no faith in the rest of the season as well. So, and like, to be honest with you, like, what good would have come out of a Redskins win in the middle of the season that you're not going to make the playoffs anyway? So, whatever, man. I mean, I'm not saying a tank, but Matt Stafford's not in the game, so like, you have that excuse as well. Like, it's a quarterback's not in. Like, how are we gonna win?
I get that though, but dude, I mean, the Titans changed from Marcus Mariota to Ryan Tannehill. They're starting.
Yeah, but Tannehill's another really good. He was what was he picked? Wasn't he in the top 10 of his draft? Like, he's always been a guy that people are saying he's gonna break out, but he's been injured all the time.
Yeah, so, I mean, I like Tannehill. Yeah. I'm just saying that other teams plug in different quarterbacks. Like, Breeze went down. Bridgewater barely has any experience in the league. Yeah, he had 1 year with Minnesota. Ever since then, he's been hurt. He won every single game he played.
Okay, but dude, it's still just to play devil's advocate. I get what you're saying, but like, we are a team that is definitely heavily reliant on Matt Stafford as the quarterback. The Saints are built way differently. Their defense is on point where ours clearly isn't, and they have a running game that could run with or without Drew Brees in there, and they've shown that.
Arguably the best receiver in the game right now.
Yeah, and arguably the best running back in the game right now. So it's like, it's a completely different situation. But I see what you're saying. And we should be better, for sure. But I just wanted to hear something out of Patricia, and I'm glad that he said something. Because, I believe that they are still building to something that can be great. And we got to remember, like, Belichick, I know, like, people hate comparing Belichick and the Patriots to this, but, like, Belichick left the Browns after 2 years. Not left, got fired from the Browns after 2 years, I believe. Or maybe he left. Because he didn't do well at all. So, like, how much would it hurt to not just not have this work out like it's happening right now, but then to let Patricia go and then he makes it happen somewhere else and then he becomes a Super Bowl winning coach or, something even better like a Hall of Fame coach like Bill Belichick ended up turning into. And then we're sitting on our hands like, what did we do, And then also, like, I think that a lot of fans' expectations are like, it's definitely fair, but they're really high because in the Caldwell years, we fired Caldwell after we fired Caldwell after a 9-7 season, and we were like literally sending the message that this is not good enough for Detroit, and we're gonna bring in somebody who can take us over that hump, and instead it looks like we hit the rebuild button and we didn't do that at all. So what's going on? So we'll see how it turns out, but yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to bring? Oh, okay. So there was one headline that I wanted to talk about, which was Josh Johnson.
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, that's his name, Josh Johnson. So he was on our team back this season, back earlier this season during the preseason, right?
Preseason.
Yeah. What did he do? He put up some. Okay, I got it right here actually. So, I mean, it wasn't that great. He got like a 75 QBR. QBR, people don't really look at that much, but like he got 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He got 1 rushing touchdown, and just in general, like not that great, like 50% completion percentage, maybe 53. I forgot. I don't have that listed down. But the point is, like, this guy's just probably going to be just as good as Driscoll or maybe a little worse because Driscoll hasn't been that bad. But the funny thing is that we tried to get him back. We had him in the preseason. We let him go because we had our backup. We were not worried about it. Mm-hmm. And then now he's been signed to the XFL, and we tried to sign him back onto our squad with our QB limited, and the XFL blocked us.
Denied.
So that kind of became a little controversy because obviously – the XFL, their salaries are only like $50,000 or something. Like,
that's really low, dude. I mean,
yeah, and the NFL minimum is like $500,000. Yeah, so that would really suck for Josh Johnson, man. Like, that would really suck if you got your NFL contract on the table and you can't take it because you already signed a $50,000 contract.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
Honestly, I mean, it's cool to see that they're trying to bring in someone, but at the same time, like, I think Driscoll's played well.
Yeah, I agree.
His first 2 games, he put up almost, 30 points. So what quarterback is going to win when the defense lets up 30-plus points? It's rare. It's rare. So even if you have Johnson, you don't have Johnson, it doesn't matter. If your defense isn't playing well, like, I don't care who you plug in. We have Stafford, for God's sake, and we're losing games. He puts up 30 points. We don't win the game because our defense can't get turnovers. They can't freaking apply pressure. They can't get 3 and outs, So, I mean, it's cool to see that they're trying to make moves and keep the hopes alive or whatever they're doing, but it wouldn't matter. It's not going to equate to wins just because you have Stafford and you're losing. Stafford's phenomenal compared to these guys, so...
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I just thought, it was a really funny headline when it came up. Like, come on,
sure.
We can't even get a quarterback now. The XFL's blocking us.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thanks for clicking on the video again. Thanks for sticking with the Lions. You're a true fan, just as we are. We're real Detroit Lions fans.
Yeah.
And just let us know what you think in the comments. What do you think about our season so far and Patricia's comments? Are they just a bunch of noise that coaches have to say, or do you believe him, and are we trying to build for something greater, and are you sticking with him?